Skip, unless there's email, a paper trail, or maybe you have someone that was close to an owner and he overheard conversation. I just don't know how you prove this. We all believe it, Skip, that Colin Kaepernick has been whiteballed, that because of his stance that he took against social injustice and police brutality against unarmed people of color. We believe that is being held against him. But it doesn't matter what you believe. It only matters what you can prove. Can Colin Kaepernick prove through email, through a paper trail, maybe there's some kind of evidence, a secretary or someone close to owners overheard conversation? Look, Tennessee, Marcus Mariota. Colin Kaepernick was Marcus Mariota in the NFL before Marcus was. And when he didn't get signed by Seattle, he didn't get signed, Carolina didn't show interest because they run similar offenses, Cam and what Cap ran in San Francisco when he had success. The Tennessee Titans, the Baltimore Ravens with their strong culture and how they can handle situations. I'm looking around the league. Where else? I don't really see a place that he can fit now, Skip. Yep. And because we hear all this where you have to change your offense. I saw the New England Patriots last year when Tom Brady missed those games. Jacoby Brissett ran a bootleg for 27 yards and a touchdown. Have you ever seen Tom Brady run a bootleg? You know they call plays differently. You call plays according to the quarterback that you have. They're not calling the same plays for Jacoby Brissett now in Indy as they would Andrew Luck. You call plays cater to what the skill set is at the quarterback is at that time. Skip, I get it. It's frustrating because and we all said this. We're like, okay, once an injury happened, somebody's going to call Cap. Well, this quarterback got injured and that quarterback got injured and this one. We get a guy to retirement. We call guys that hadn't thrown passes in 2 or 3 years in the NFL. Cap last threw a pass in January of 2017 and nothing. I get it. It's frustrating. And it looks like that what he did originally 14 months ago has everything to do with why he's not currently playing. But how do you prove that? Maybe he says, now, look, okay, guys have been playing the national anthem for the last 70 years in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Why now are you trying to get all the players to stand? What led to this? I just don't know. He got Mark Garagos who's in charge of this and filing the suit. And I get it, Skip. It's frustrating because this young man believes he can play. You and I both believe he can play. But without concrete evidence, how do you prove that one or more persons are in cahoots? I remember when I was playing Monopoly with my kids, and I would say, you two guys are in cahoots. They said, Daddy, what cahoots mean? I say, you two are conspiring against me to make sure I don't win. They say, Daddy, why you say that? I say, because you selling property for less than what it's worth. Mm-hmm. Colin Kaepernick believed that the NFL is suppressing his right to earn a fair living through the anthem protest. And I just don't know how he proves it in a court of law, Skip.
I don't either. Sad but true. Do I believe there was some form of collusion operating? I've been saying it for weeks and months on this show.
Yes.
Do I believe that all 32 owners got together on a conference call and said, we will not let him back into this league because he started this protest? Nope, I don't think that happened. By the way, collusion can involve just two, as you said back in your in cahoots game, right?
Yes.
You know, but it could just be two. Do I believe that one owner privately spoke to another who privately spoke to? I do.
Yes.
And yet it's too easy to explain away the fact that, well, Colin Kaepernick, you know all the knocks on him. He's never been that accurate. And you can say he never made a Pro Bowl. And you can say that he was 3-16 as a starter his last 2 years in San Francisco. And you can argue that, well, RG3 was the second pick in the draft, and he's out of football. Is that collusion? You can say Darrelle Revis, the greatest cornerback in some people's eyes. I think it's Dion, but one of the top two cornerbacks ever, is out of football at age 32. Is that collusion? Mm-hmm. No, I don't think so. So now we're down to what came across to me last night as a last desperate act by Colin Kaepernick, and it just made me sad because he should be above this. His stature should be above this. I'm going to say it again. He had national impact a year ago.
Yes.
He was on the cover of Time magazine. He went down in history as the face of a movement that did have some impact. And I know I can't quantify it, but it just did. I just know. And this is, again, just me speaking as a white guy from my little circle of people I'm around. It opened eyes. It opened ears. It opened minds. It had some impact. And I'm afraid he paid for it with his job.
Yes.
He risked his job, and then he paid for it with his job. So now it was a little bit of a turnoff to me that he goes to get Mark Garagos, who's a celebrity attorney who represented Michael Jackson, Winona Ryder, and unfortunately Scott Peterson, Chris Brown. He's been on all over television. He's been a regular on Adam Carolla's show. He's been a guest host for Dr. Drew. So he's a celebrity attorney who will do some grandstanding here. I was a little disappointed that Colin didn't just go the correct way, the sort of
an attorney that's his expertise.
Yeah, it is,
and not some not.
But the official way to do this would be to go through the NFLPA,
right?
And they say we're still with him and behind him, but he went all the way to celebrity attorney. So it smacks of just wanting a settlement. And if you do get a settlement from the NFL, it can't be that much because collusion settlements call for you should be paid twice what you would have made.
Yes.
Well, I'm afraid as a backup quarterback, you would have made like $1 million a year, maybe if that. So you pay him $2 million to go away. Is that what we're headed for?
Well, I think the thing is he wants to. If he can prove it, he wants to blow up the CBA because there's
you can try.
There's a provision.
There is
little known that if collusion is involved, you can get out of the CB earlier than what the time frame is. Skip, I just don't. But here's the problem, and this. If I were to sue Fox, I feel very comfortable in saying they're never going to hire me again. You just filed a lawsuit against them. What's the likelihood at any point in time in 2018, 19, of moving forward?
That's why it's a last desperate act, because whatever bridge was left, I think you just burned it to the ground.
Yeah, well, not only did you burn the bridge, you destroyed the earth so no one else can build a bridge to help you come back across if there was needed that. I just, man, this is such a hard case to prove unless there's, like I said, Skip, unless there's an email. I don't think the owners were that. It's like kind of like, put it like this. It was kind of like when they didn't have minority general managers and head coaches. Did all 28 owners at the time or 27 owners say, we're not hiring a black head coach? No, but it was understood. Or with black quarterbacks, did they say, you know what, we're not hiring a black quarterback? But it was understood. So understanding, how do you prove that, though? Because they can always say, this is talent-based. His talent doesn't warrant him being on this roster. And that's the tricky part, Skip, because I'm an evaluator, and my evaluators tell me he's not worthy to be on this team. So you get 32 evaluators saying, nah, it's all talent-based. How does Dan Orlovsky, or how does Blaine Gabbert, or how does this guy get a job? Well, we just think they're better for us than you would be. And then how do you disprove that? Skip, I just don't know where this goes.
I'm going to bring it up one last time. My friend John Wooten, who runs the Fritz Pollard Alliance, which oversees the Rooney Rule. John has, for many, many years, fought for many minorities to get many jobs as head coaches, assistant coaches, and GMs in this league. And he has fought on behalf of Colin Kaepernick, and he has campaigned over the last 2 weeks, sending emails to all the prominent journalists in this country. We need Colin to speak up and speak back out and just tell us where he's at. And you've been sometimes in touch with Colin. And I get it that he and his advisors would see that as groveling or crawling for the NFL. I get it. But John is convinced, as a very proud black man, that needed to get done, that Colin needed to hold a big media session in which he said, here's where I am. This is what I believe. And as John says, he was the face of a movement. So he's not like Blaine Gabbert or whoever else you name.
Correct.
He has stature to him. And so the people in power, a lot of them white people in power, I guess told John, I just want to hear from him. Not face-to-face, just in a media session, so I can see his body language. Where is his head now? What's his commitment to playing football? What's his commitment to the movement that he has been the face of? And John finally threw up his hands because he thought he had the opening set up at Baltimore. And you've been close to that situation, and you've heard from people inside that situation. And I don't know what happened, but when Colin's girlfriend posted the picture of Django on Twitter, it just really turned. I know John was just disgusted by it. And I don't know if that hurt the cause a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what your take is on Baltimore, how close it was, but that was the closest.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.